Oh, welcome back to our Steve Judd. I'm Sue Brain, and here is Steve Judd.
Good morning,
and
folks. Evening, afternoon, wherever you are.
and we're kind of sandwiched today between the Chinese New Year, which was on the 17th with the eclipse, and where tomorrow is the big shift of Saturn into actually Saturn and Neptune joining together in Aries. This is the big shift that we've been waiting for. And we've been just looking and chatting about what's coming up in March, and it's very intense, isn't it? These bunching of planets that's going to be going on. So, Steve, shall we start from there? Shall we start from,
As we
well, we
speak,
start from anywhere, really.
there's 5 planets in Pisces and 4 in Aries. And tomorrow the moon will change sign and move into Aries. So there'll be five
Yeah,
planets in Aries, 4 in Pisces. Everything in the sky is within 160 degrees. Everything is between Jupiter and Pluto. There's
yeah,
nothing, there's a whole empty half of the sky at the moment.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
very intense, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are you feeling it?
Mixture of trepidation and anticipation and
Mm.
hope. Um,
Oh,
I've,
yes.
as I was saying to you before we pressed record, in recent days, and it is days, I've been able to say to a lot of clients, it's over. The last 2 or 3 years, pressure, fatigue,
Yeah.
gravity, it's over. Saturn has left Pisces, Neptune has left Pisces.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
And
I
it
have
and it's over. It's done.
Yeah, I have to say over the last, oh God, when as it was very strange because I'm not normally affected. I don't think I am, but that anyway, I definitely felt this whole Saturn moving across into Aries, and I felt exhausted. I felt depressed. I felt low. I felt I didn't want to do anything, which is really unlike me. So I'm sure it was all of that energetic shift. But at the same time, Steve, what I can't work out, it's archetypal. It isn't actual. It's archetype.
Planets impel, they don't compel. You know,
Yeah.
it as an more and more these days, I find myself living in a 3D world, in a 3D universe, a holistic universe. I've adopted our friend Gary's ideas of panpsychism,
Oh yeah.
and where everything has life force, from a blade
Yes.
of grass to a rock, to a molecule, to a
Yes.
planet. And, when you can hear Jupiter on the shortwave radio,
That's the one.
and
Yeah.
therefore its radio waves are hitting us, what's that if it's not astrology? So there's always these influences going on.
I
But
think it's
as
I think it's cosmology.
it is, and another way of using the word astrology is to say applied cosmology.
Yes.
And if I was to do a PhD, I'd be in applied cosmology as opposed to astrology, because then I'd get it into the academy. Um,
And
but
just, I'm
but
just
the
going to stop you. I've got to go and get Gary's book because I said to him that we would talk. We would. Have you got it there? Oh, fantastic. So this is Gary's new book. So anybody who's interested, can you just bring it forward a little bit more in Gary Phillipson's fabulous work as an academic in astrology? This is a wonderful book, and he's upgraded the original version that came out, I think it was of several years ago. So he's upgraded it there. So we because he's our mate, we'll give him a
Yeah,
plug.
he is astrology in the year zero, and of
That's it.
course, a signed copy. Of course,
Of course.
it's all about how astrologers work and how they see the cosmos.
Yes.
And the update is really good because there's been a lot of changes since it was first written in the last 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
remember, the planets impel, they don't compel. We are an anomaly compared to every other life force that I'm aware of resonates with nature, with time, and with the flow of energy in the cosmos.
Yeah.
Humans have this weird idea of free will and choice and self determination as opposed to fate and destiny. So
Yeah.
we can choose to ignore, many people unconsciously and unknowingly choose to ignore these larger influences that do affect our lives. And by ignoring them, you can not nullify them completely, but you can really dumb them down so they hardly affect you. Which is why people who don't know astrology, the stuff that happens in the sky doesn't affect them as much as it affects those who do know their astrology.
Well, it brings in the observer effect, doesn't it? That one, that's it. You know, the early quantum, and I find that experiment absolutely fascinating. And for anyone who doesn't know about it, was when was it done? 1930s, I think. One,
30s, yeah.
yeah, that some of the first experiments were done looking at, oh God, here we go, wave particles or particles. And if they were observed, they flowed. And if they weren't observed, they changed into something else and there wasn't a flow. So what they proved is that when you are conscious and focused, you can influence the flow of what the
Energy around
particles,
you.
the energy, whatever you want to call it.
You can. And
Fascinating.
let's not talk about that damn cat.
Do you want to explain that?
Well, you don't know if it's dead, do you, until you open the
No,
box?
no, you don't.
I'm not opening that box.
No. All right, we'll keep that one close. I'm just very glad my cat is very, very alive and watching a bird at the moment. So, yes, and I think so. So, cosmology. So, let's, I know you and I can ramble off into all sorts of directions, but I'd like to come back to this bunching of planets and the cosmology of that. And how is this going to impact the babies, the souls that are being born now? And I'm fascinated. And what are they coming through to do? To what's their cosmology going to be like and their relationship with the planet? Because there's a lot of Pisces in there.
As we speak, we've got 7 planets within 30 degrees. Sun, Moon,
Yeah,
Mercury, Venus, Saturn, Neptune, Node. All within 30 degrees, all within one sign of each other. And
yeah,
this is a
yeah,
specialist formation. The kids being born now, and by now I mean over this last month or two, and
yeah,
especially over this next month or two, they are next generation. I mean, obviously they are, but they
yeah.
are really mission specialists.
I think so. I love that. They're mission specialists because it's Pisces. So there's going to be some, I mean, probably some of them will get lost along the way as it is Pisces, but let's hope that there will be a real desire for spiritual service. And then this Aries coming in as well, that will ground it and help them to do something to change the consciousness of humanity.
Those that don't self-combust immediately on arrival. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, yes. I mean, what a lot to, that's intense. They've
I
got a mission. They have
I
absolutely got a mission,
I
haven't
have
they?
found myself reassuring a couple of clients whom are pregnant at the moment and due to give birth in the next couple of months.
Yeah, yeah,
About they're worried that they might be giving birth to a child who's, oh, I don't know, got special educational needs or
yeah,
autistic or
yeah,
something. And they can, no, no, no. We've labelled these young kids with these labels simply because we the older generations don't have a term of reference to relate to the energy that they're carrying.
absolutely,
So
absolutely.
I consider these to be the forerunners of the new humanity.
I agree. And also, I think what's so exciting is that Chiron's in Aries.
And the new moon on the 17th of April is conjunct Chiron pretty much exactly.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. So kids born in this month in February, they're carrying a huge amount of energy, aren't they? They're carrying, my goodness me. Yeah,
What's lovely though is that at the moment, because everything's in the same half of the sky, there are no oppositions except obviously to the midheaven or the ascendant and the
Yes,
moon when it's on the other side of the sky. But
it's
you know,
bucket list. It's a bucket shape.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so they've really got something to do, haven't they? And in a way, as you say, I mean, it's a bowl shape, not a bucket shape.
Yeah.
So in a way, I guess a bowl is it easier than a bucket?
I
You can get,
yes,
do you
yeah,
think? Mm,
I would think so. Um, I wish I had a couple of spare years to research it.
I know. We need lifetimes doing this, Steve, not just one. This is the trouble about astrology, isn't it? However much you do, there's loads more to do. So now the other thing I wanted to talk to you about, because you know about these kind of things, is I was looking up about the sun. And you know, we as astrologers, we say that its cycle is one in archetypally. It takes a year to go around our chart. But actually, the sun, as far as I'm aware, has its own 11-year cycle.
It does.
And I'd like you to explain that.
Um, Bearing in mind that the sun is a massive ball of hydrogen helium that has its own life force. It lives and breathes. It it contracts and grows. Every so often it hiccups. We
It
get a giant
blows things out of the
CME.
skin.
Yeah. And every 11 years, there's the solar maximum and solar minimum. We are at solar maximum
So the
now. I
maximum.
saw a wonderful graphic on astronomy picture of a day, APOD, literally about a week ago, where it showed the sun as it is, and then around it, 12 smaller suns showing the number of sunspots each month. And they're in the middle,
Whoa.
all the sunspots of the last year, and then comparing it to previous years. This has been the biggest year of sunspots for decades and decades. The
Yeah,
sun
they've
is
been
so
huge.
alive at the moment.
Yeah, yeah. I do listen to Stephen Burns, who is a specialist in whatever the sun is doing, and he's very good. Yeah, he's very good on this, and he's certainly
Yes,
educated me a lot.
yes, he is good. He is very good.
Yeah.
He's unfortunately relatively dismissive of astrology. Not as bad as some.
No, no, but he's good at what he does.
He's good at what he does.
Yeah. So if
Um,
anybody's interested, it's a Stephen Burns. Look him up on YouTube, and he'll explain exactly what's happening. But talk about synchronicity, Steve. Don't you think it's very synchronistic that this 11-year cycle of the sun is at its peak when all of this is happening astrologically is being mirrored in the sky with,
I tell
you know,
you,
the eclipse.
isn't it coincidence and synchronistic? Anyone might think it could be intelligent design.
It could be. So it just feels like everything is about, I don't know if it's about to explode, but everything's coming up, isn't it?
It's
It
about
just
to evolve, Sue.
evolve. Yes. I think yes. Do you not
It's
think
an
it's going to?
upgrade.
I hope so. Yes.
Well, it's like
Yes.
dystopia, utopia, breakthrough,
Yes.
breakdown.
Yes. Yeah. And I think with the sun at this at its the most potent, if you like, at the moment, it it has to be impacting all of us on the planet. It just has
It
to
is.
be in one way or another. But I do find that very interesting. Now, the other thing, I'm going to pick your brains about this as well. I was talking to somebody about the four royal stars,
Regulus, Regulus, uh,
Formenhide, Antares, and I, is it Albaran?
Aldebaran.
Aldebaran.
Yeah.
Now, apparently, Aldebaran was at 0 degrees Aries thousands of years ago when we Um, um, so when I suppose in the ancients, the Western astrology was set at 0 degrees. And apparently, and I don't know if this is true, and I just want to check this out with you. Aldebaran is associated with the Archangel Michael. Did you know anything about this?
Um,
No,
last
you're
time
looking
I met an
confused.
archangel, last time I met an archangel, I custard pied them.
But Aldebaran is now at 10 degrees Gemini, right? So it's moved because of the precession of the equinoxes.
Yeah, the star hasn't moved, but the signs
No,
have.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
yeah.
So it's now at 10 degrees
Gemini.
Gemini.
Yeah.
So at some point, Uranus is going to go up there and meet it. But there must be an imprint of Aldebaran at 0 degrees Aries, and that's exactly where Saturn and Neptune are sitting. And I just thought I'd run that past you. I
So
don't.
the other day, I delivered a lecture to the ASK, the Astrological Society of Kentucky.
Oh,
Okay, Scott Silverman, amongst others. And it was the best. I honestly think it was the best lecture I've ever done. It was really good. I did my research thoroughly. I've gone on in this last year a large number of times about how all this stuff has never happened before. It's a once in a species moment. One of my students found I was wrong. We've never had 7 planets in Aries. That's coming. But there was a time when Saturn was conjunct Neptune at 0 degrees of Aries. That was in 4361 BCE.
that's right.
So that is 5.5 to 6,000 years ago.
Yes.
So I did my research on this and I asked what was going on at this time. And what do I find? The very first landscape architecture in Britain and Northwest Europe, not the stone circles, that's 1,000 years later at the earliest, but even the tumuli and the hills were 1,000 years later, but the very first long barrows were
Really?
4003 east aligned east west. Also 4300 BC, the founding of the city state of Sumeria, and that gave us the first
Yes.
language
Yes.
and the first copper scrolls where you see the priests pointing to the
Yes.
Pleiades or the plough over the king's head as the crown is dropped on his head.
Whoa.
So, this was the last time there was a Saturn Neptune conjunction at 0 Aries. It was the start of civilization as we understand it to be.
So this would be absolutely sitting on um Alderan. Ald
Aldebaran, yeah.
Aldebaran. Absolutely. I just thought I'm not into these fixed stars particularly, but I did find that interesting. I did. I mean, I don't know whether I'm making something more than it is, but it just rang a bell for me.
Bearing in mind that much of the fixed star law comes from both the Babylonians, who had 1,500 years of uninterrupted stellar
Yeah.
observation. They're the ones who gave us the first ephemerises and recognized the orbits of Venus and Jupiter, and to a lesser extent Mercury. But also that was 2000 BC to 500 BCE. But also the journey of astrology along the North African coast over about 450 AD through to about 800 AD. During that 200, 300 years journey, the Arab astronomers and geomancers worked out lots of stuff around both the fixed star and the Arabian parts. And it's from
Yes,
them that we get
yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of the star lore that we have today. It's a mixture of
Yes,
Babylonian and early Mohammedan
yes,
Arabic influence.
yes. The Islamic influence was huge, wasn't it? I mean,
Massive.
that's all going back to Mesopotamia and what they were doing.
Yes.
It's just so interesting, isn't it?
Yes.
So what, just to come back, do you feel like that this is relevant, or do you feel like, well, maybe not, but it is interesting. I'm going to watch what happens when Uranus does hit 10 degrees Gemini. That'll be in a few years' time, but it may manifest as something, but I would just say let's all watch it,
Yeah.
see what happens.
I find it fascinating that at this time, when we're involved in so many precise astronomical and astrological configurations, that if you look 3 years down the line, and then 10 years, and 30 years, and 50 years, and 100 years down the
Yeah,
line,
yeah.
there's nothing of this level of intensity, such as there is now, around. Nothing. This is the most intense time, astrologically speaking, of the last 2,000 years and the next X number of years, centuries and centuries in any of our
Yeah.
lives.
I tell you what I'm fascinated by at the moment, and I think this is very much Saturn and a Neptune coming together at 0 degrees Aries, to be fair, is this it's not a resurgence, but a growing interest in the Gnostic teachings and the hermetic teachings, as above, so below, as within, so without. And I'm interested in that. And there's a lot of people now talking about Gnostic teachings and hermetic teachings, and our inverted commas are the teachings are that we come from a divine source and we incarnate through the layers of the planetary. I'm not going to go into all because there's too much to say. But it's very interesting that we incarnate carrying the imprints of that's the teachings, and then we're here to remember that we get locked in or we forget or whatever it happens to us, and our soul's journey is to remember where we
Mm.
come from. And I think there's a lot of people are saying, I don't know if they're saying to
Yeah,
you,
but yeah, but you're a Platonist.
I am.
So am I. I'm a Neoplatonist, but yeah, similar.
Oh, I'm a Platonist.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're. But when I was doing when I was being taught all this stuff, I realized that there's a really big divide between the Hermetic, Gnostic, Platonic
Yes.
viewpoint
Yeah.
versus the Aristotelian
Oh, yes. He
viewpoint.
didn't believe in any of this.
Well, he believed in logic
He
and he
believed in
believed in
logic.
astrology and astrology.
Yes,
But
but
he sought to explain astrology through mechanical terms.
he did. He did. And he didn't believe in reincarnation. He
No, he
thought that
didn't.
the
And,
soul
and
died.
yes, he
Uh,
did.
well,
And
most of the soul, anyway.
and that's why much of the Islamic astrology at that time became Aristotelian more than Platonic. Plato wasn't being read over the period of 300 AD through to 1200 AD. It was
It
still
was
in
very
the
much
original
Aristotle.
Greek.
Hmm.
It was translated into Arabic around 1100, 1200, and it's from there that you get scholars like Roger Bacon traveling to southern Spain to translate Plato's work into Latin.
Yes, but that was when the Moors were kicked out, wasn't it? And they left
The
behind.
Moors didn't finally leave until 1450,
That's when
1460.
the
But
big
yes,
clear out was happening. Yes.
this is in the middle of the Islamic Golden Age. The Islamic Golden Age lasted from about the Moors crossed into Andalusia around about 800, 900 AD, and they left in 1480, the
1480.
final, something
Yeah.
like that, just before Columbus.
It
I'm
must have
well
been.
versed in this because I've had to do a lot of research on this.
Yeah, for your film. Yeah,
Yes.
it's so interesting, isn't it? That how it all got how it's been passed on, and the cosmology. And again, I'm going to use the word refuses to die. It through whatever happened, it was just like no cosmology. It is a truth that has to
So
permeate through
I was at
whatever restriction.
I was at a conference a few weeks ago where Gary was there, as well
Oh
as Nick
yeah,
Campion and a few other people. And I was asking Gary questions. I was saying, well, look, astrology's been there all the time. Since before the dawn of history,
yeah.
proto-humans have looked at the sky for meaning. So as long as there's people to look at the sky, astrology's always been a force in our lives. But then I said, would astrology exist if there were no humans to look at the sky? And the
Or it's a
answer
bit,
is no, it wouldn't.
it's a bit like that question is, does a tree fall in the forest if you don't see it? That takes us back to the observer effect.
It does, because if the humans weren't there to observe it, animals and the tides would still resonate with the new and full moon.
Oh, yes,
There'd still be
definitely.
howling and cycles, but to attribute meaning to it,
Yeah.
different story. And
We
that's
can,
and that brings us back to where we are, because it's all very well understanding the movements of the planets, but attributing meaning to it
yes.
in a way that's communicable.
That
That's
works for the everyday person. I think that's what it is. It's taking it out of the academic sort of, the bubble, the academic bubble, and so that ordinary people can actually, or whoever ordinary people are, by the way, I count myself as an ordinary person.
me
Um,
too.
yeah, can actually understand it and use it, and as long as it's not abused, that's the big thing.
People who
That's
abuse it generally don't last long.
no, but it's I am captivated by cosmology.
A lot of people have said to me, "Well, but what does all this stuff that's going on now really mean?" And it's like, well, how long you got?
Yeah,
I can explain it, but it's going to take a lot. You have to look at all the different factors and then correlate them all together to get one overall big picture. But more and more in the last few weeks, I just say to people, look, it's too late to try and to attribute meaning now. We're in it. We're immersed
we're
in it.
in it.
But just buckle up,
Yeah.
go along
But
for the ride, and let's see
yeah.
where we are by the end of April.
Well, yes, but I do think that humanity and is the symbology of humanity is really interesting at the moment because it's all focused on Jeffrey Epstein at the moment. But the sort of the corruption of humanity and it's just playing out. And suddenly, a lot of people are having, the scales are falling from their eyes, going, bloody hell, is that what we've been up to? I'm a real Mother Teresa here is, own your own jackboot or take, own the own plank in your eye before throwing out blame onto everyone else, because that's a really easy way to do it. Well, I'm not involved in that, but where all of us, the whole of humanity is involved with this.
Everyone who sticks their head above the radar screen at the moment is going to be exposed. I find myself more and more asking myself, have I got anything that's going to prove dodgy? And we've all got dodgy things that we did in the past.
Oh
Fortunately,
God,
all my
yes.
dodgy experiences were done before the internet.
Yeah, me too. That's the glory of our age.
That's the glory of our age. But even the worst things I did,
Mm,
they weren't nasty.
they were just
You know,
unconscious, probably.
yeah, you can't be.
Yeah,
It does make me wonder at these people who deliberately choose to abuse people from positions of power
I
for their
know.
own personal gratification. It makes me question their well, obviously, it makes me question their morals, makes me question their humanity, and it
Well,
makes
you
me
see, I
question the
think
nature of evil.
I think we as this is me Aquarian talking, by the way. All of us, the whole of humanity, has to question our morality now. All of
Mm.
us do, because we're all creating it, even though we don't want to admit that. All of us are in this together,
Yes.
and it's how we, as a humanity, work through this. That's what matters. It isn't individuals.
It's as I get older, it's becoming increasingly obvious to me that the most important thing in my life of all is to have as clean a conscience as I possibly can.
Well, we're heading towards a deathbed, and I want to be on my deathbed going, you're okay. You did okay. Absolutely. I talked
I
to a
don't
lot.
expect judgment. I'm not going to be judged. I just want
Oh,
to be clean.
that's your inner thing for yourself. Absolutely. I talk
Yeah.
to lots of my clients about this because that's
Yeah.
the big thing,
Yeah.
am I doing what I'm meant to do? And if not, what am I meant to do? Yeah, it's interesting. I'm doing a lot. I don't know if you're seeing a lot of clients with Uranus square Uranus. They're around about 63.
No, 42.
No, at 63.
No, Uranus squares its own position. Uranus squares its own. Oh, 63. Yeah, the three-quarter square of Uranus.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
sorry, the three-quarter square.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a lot of people are waking up at around about 63 going, help. And it's very synchronistic that it's happening now. So I think the 63-year-old generation are going, right, I've got the wisdom, I'm turning my knowledge into wisdom. How do I use it? And this could be actually the birth of the elders.
Well, you know my scale of age. I've told you this, haven't I?
Go
For
on.
at Amadown, one of the things I'm doing with Penny's, me and
Yeah,
Penny, I'm doing some
yeah.
great stuff on, incidentally, Nicholas Culpepper at Amadown with
Oh, yeah.
Steve.
Oh, cool. I love Nicholas Goldpepper.
But I'm looking at cycles, particularly. I'm looking at all the different planetary cycles,
Yeah,
returns, half returns, quarter returns, but
yeah,
particularly focusing on the age of 40 to 44
yeah,
and 59 to 60, and
yeah,
I can stretch that to 63.
yeah.
But, I consider middle age to be 42 to 59, and then
Oh, yes,
59 to 68 is the classic era, like a
yes,
classic car. 68 to 76 is the veteran era, where you don't
yes,
need an MOT, right? And 76 to 84 is tribal elder.
yes.
And once you're 84, you're old.
I think so. I say it's about leaving school. So before you're 21, you're at kindergarten, and
Yeah.
then yeah, and then you go into junior school until you're the midlife crisis, and after the midlife crisis, you can go into senior school, but the beginning of senior school,
So we graduate at
yeah,
63.
and you graduate at 63, and then you can take the MA if you want to,
I,
and
I,
then
I,
when you're
I,
older, you can do the PhD, but only if you want to.
I
That's
say
how
to
I look
people
at it.
that, I say age, they mature and grow like a good wine or a good
Yeah.
cheese.
Steve, we've rambled hugely. Oh, I think we're going to leave this for the next time, but I do want to talk about the Nag Hammadi texts as well. But
That's
I
coming
think
up a lot recently.
that's
Yeah.
coming up a lot. So I just thought we might save that for next time. Is there anything you want to say or do or whatever before we finish off?
Yeah, because we're going to be publishing this in the next
Yeah,
today.
yeah,
Yeah, the next few days, just buckle up and
yeah. For the
don't let your
next
buttons
month,
get pushed.
actually.
Yeah,
Actually, I think probably until June, isn't it, when the Jupiter opposes Pluto, isn't it?
that's the second, third week of July. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I think this first of half of the year it's buckle up.
I'm telling everyone by the third or fourth week of July, 85% of the challenges of this year are over.
Yeah, yeah. So don't despair. No, this is just
No,
a time,
dance with
but
it.
it is very intense.
Dance with it. Just dance with it and just keep cleaning yourselves. And don't believe it.
Yeah.
Don't believe the hype and spin.
And I think the other thing is you can't save the world. You
No.
can't. You can only do your bit. Like
But you
Steve
can
and I often,
change the world. You can change the way you see the world.
yes,
And
but
that
you can,
resonates out.
yeah, just be kind to each other. That's the most important thing for me is kindness and compassion. Yeah. And at that, particularly at this moment when there's so much blame being thrown out into the
So,
world.
so many of my friends at the moment and clients at the moment are saying, Steve, this person needs a bit of help. Could you do a reading for them? I'll pay you for it.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
Yeah.
do it anonymously.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like,
Oh gosh, yes.
it's
Yes.
random acts of kindness.
Random acts of kindness. That's what we need right now. And when you feel like you're buying into the blame bubble, just pull back and just see what is being triggered in me that I would feel so outraged by this. And that's not decrying what people are doing. Absolutely not. But we just got to take responsibility for who we are and what we do. Consequences.
Yeah.
Okie doke. That's it then.
Yeah.
Till the
That's
next
it for
time.
this time. We'll see you in a month, folks.
Yeah, see you in the month. See you then. Take care. Lots of love to you all. Bye.